Imagine this. You wake up, step out with your cup of coffee, hoping for just a little peace before the day starts. And there she is, the HOA president, already floating in your pool. Yeah, your pool. The one you worked your whole life to afford. Not some public splash pad with rules about no Marco Polo after 6 p.m. She's got her sunglasses on, lemonade in hand, stretched out like she's the one paying the mortgage and not you. That's how my week started, again and again, like some twisted sitcom on loop. And honestly, that was just the beginning. See, I'm 62 years old. At this point in my life, I don't ask for much. I just wanted a quiet backyard, a pool to cool off in, and the right to use my own dang lawn chair without someone squawking about community standards. But apparently in Karen's world, yeah, that's her real name, my pool was a shared amenity. And I was just a guest in the kingdom of Karen, whether I liked it or not. You ever run into someone who acts like the word president, stamped on a plastic HOA badge, turns them into a medieval queen? That was Karen Blonde. She could weaponize a clipboard better than some folks can handle a rifle. I'm telling you, she'd strut through my side gate. Didn't matter if I was home. Drop her towel, crank up her little Bluetooth speaker, and smirk like I should be grateful she picked my place instead of the crowded community pool. Relax, she'd chirp. The HOA has authority here. That was the line, the one that made something in me just snap. Now you'd think my first move would have been a lock, a fence, maybe a camera. Nope. I went a different direction. One Karen was never going to forget. But hold up, let me back up a second. Before I get to the end of this saga, I want you to drop a comment and tell me, where are you watching from? What time is it right now? And if you've ever lived in an HOA neighborhood, you know what I mean, there's always a Karen. There's always somebody who thinks being president makes them the sheriff, the judge, and the landlord rolled into one. And in our neck of the woods, she was all that, plus a little extra. Picture her, oversized sunglasses, hair so blonde you'd think she was auditioning for a shampoo commercial, and that clipboard, like it was glued to her hand. She invented new rules every week, none of which she ever bothered to follow herself. After the first time she claimed my pool as community oversight, I figured maybe, just maybe, she'd embarrassed herself enough to stay away for a bit. Wishful thinking, right? If Karen were a robot, she'd be programmed for enforce rules I just made up. A few days later, I'm out trimming my hibiscus, and there she comes again, sauntering up the driveway, smiling that smile that means she's got plans to ruin my day. Good morning, resident, she says, dragging out resident like I was a squatter she was about to evict. What now, Karen? I asked, already bracing for the nonsense. She let out this dramatic sigh. Just doing a community compliance walk. As president, I have to inspect shared amenities. I looked around, no park, no playground, no nothing. You mean my yard? I asked. If it's visible from any neighboring property, it falls under HOA review. That was her logic. I pointed out my 6-foot privacy fence. She shrugged, scribbled something on her clipboard, and told me she needed access to the pool for a safety verification. No, I said flat, plain, nothing extra. No yelling, no drama, just no. You'd have thought I slapped her across the face. Excuse me? She actually blinked like she was hurt. You heard me. Her mouth went all tight. You don't get to deny the HOA, she hissed. I leaned on my hedge trimmer. Karen, my pool and my yard aren't community property. She gasped, clutched her pearls literally, and muttered about speaking to the board. Classic Karen move. She stomped off, making sure her steps were loud enough for half the street to hear. Did that slow her down? Please. 2 days later, there she is again, side gate open, strutting into my backyard like she pays the water bill. And this time, she really outdid herself. Bright pink swimsuit, lying on my flamingo float, the one my granddaughter gave me for Father's Day, headphones on, eyes closed, soaking up the sun. I walk out, clear my throat. Karen. Nothing. Karen. Still nothing. I had to get up close before she finally peeled an ear cup back and glared. Do you mind? I'm in the middle of my relaxation therapy. The HOA Wellness Committee encourages self-care. I swear, I almost laughed out loud. Karen, you're trespassing. She waved her hand at me like I was a fly. No, I'm not. I'm monitoring water clarity. Hands-free assessment. If sarcasm could melt concrete, my driveway would have been a puddle. Get out of my yard. She sat up, narrowed her eyes. This pool barely meets minimum safety standards. I'm doing you a favor. So now I'm supposed to thank her for breaking into my yard, using my pool, and leaving behind her sunscreen stains? She crossed her arms and gave me that smug smile. The one people wear when they think they've already won. Someone has to maintain order around here, and that someone is not you. That afternoon, I get 3 separate HOA emails. Unapproved vegetation, my basil, by the way. Suspicious activity in backyard, me watering my plants. Untidy pool area needing inspection, her mess. Each one ended with failure to comply may result in fines. That's when I realized this wasn't just about her being nosy. She was escalating. She wanted control, and my pool had somehow become her battleground. Neighbors started whispering apologies. Mrs. Cunningham told me Karen was spreading rumors about my pool filter being a community hazard. Tom next door sighed and said he saw her doing a safety dive, with a margarita in hand. Even the teenagers joked about seeing Karen climb my fence like she was breaking into a VIP club. But the final straw. She shows up one Saturday with 2 girlfriends, iced coffees, giant hats. Will only be a couple hours, don't fuss. That was it. That's when I snapped. Let me tell you something. There's no out-nicing a person who has no shame. You gotta make them want to stay away. So that night, after their footprints dried and their sunscreen stains sparkled in the pool tiles, I sat down and Googled how to stop trespassers from using your private pool. And down the rabbit hole I went. Motion sensors, barbed wire, loud alarms, even attack geese. Seriously. But then I found something so absurd, I nearly spit my coffee across the room. A hyper-realistic floating alligator decoy. Glassy eyes, scaly, even the jaw sat just above the water. Golf courses used them, so did private lakes. Heck, police departments. 3 segments, the head, the middle, the tail, floating so the current makes it look alive. I read reviews. Scared my husband half to death. Mailman refuses to come by. $40, that's all. $40 to end Karen's reign. I hit by now faster than you can say trespassing notice. When it arrived, I opened the box. Honestly, it was even scarier than the pictures. I set it in the water, watched the head drift, the tail wag, and my neighbor's dog lose his mind barking at it. Perfect. The next morning, 10:13, right on schedule, Karen struts in, doesn't knock, sets her towel down, yapping about routine maintenance. Then she sees it. She freezes, leans in, sunglasses slipping down her nose. Then she jumps back, screeching like she's being attacked. I nearly choked on my coffee. She falls right on her butt, sandals flying, flailing backward as the gator drifts toward her. She's shaking, slips, almost falls in. Then, well, I'll just say it, she peed herself right there on the deck, in front of God, the squirrels, and half my security cameras. I had to clamp a hand over my mouth to keep from dying of laughter. She scrambled up, shrieking, slipped again, then sprinted out of my yard barefoot, trailing water and chaos down the street. Worth every penny, let me tell you. But was that the end? With Karen, embarrassment turns into rage faster than you can blink. The very next day, she's at my door, hair wild, eyes blazing. You tried to kill me, she yells. Karen, you walked in my yard and screamed at a plastic toy. It looked real. You set a trap for me. I set it in my own pool, Karen. The only thing it attacked was your ego. She storms off, threatening to call the police, animal control, FEMA. Whoever will listen. And right there on my porch, she dials 911. Hello. My neighbor placed a live alligator in his pool to deliberately harm me. I nearly facepalmed myself into next week. The cops show up. Karen rushes them, ranting about deadly predators. The officers give each other that look. You know, the here we go again look. Ma'am, a real alligator? One asks. Yes. It lunged at me. I can't help but snort. It floated gently, I say. They follow me to the backyard, poke the decoy with a baton. Ma'am, it's plastic. She's sputtering, defeated. He did this to terrorize me. Ma'am, he's allowed to have decorations. You, however, are trespassing. Then the officer turns to me. Sir, you're within your rights. Then to her. Ma'am, you cannot enter his yard again. Say it. She mutters. I won't trespass again. For now. The look that cop gave her could have peeled paint. They escorted her off my property, soaked, defeated, her dignity somewhere by the pool. And if you think that was it, nope. That night, the lights in Karen's house flicker until midnight. Her shadow stomps around, yelling on the phone, blinds slamming every few minutes. Probably checking to see if the alligator is plotting her demise. Next day, she's back, storming down the sidewalk, sunglasses bigger than her head, clipboard ready for war. You think you're clever? She hisses. No, Karen. I think I'm tired. She launches into another rant. You set a trap to terrorize a community member. You trespassed for a safety inspection in a swimsuit. A swimsuit is appropriate for aquatic hazard assessment. She steps close. You want to play games? Fine, but I don't lose games. I'm not playing, Karen. I just want you out of my yard. She announces new safety regulations, says she'll be monitoring my pool herself. You mean another excuse to trespass? Enhanced supervision on your plastic gator. She doesn't even hear me, just spins on her heel, throws "you haven't seen the last of me" over her shoulder. Of course I haven't. That night, just after sunset, my phone pings, motion alert. I pull up the camera feed, almost drop the phone laughing. Karen, dressed like a sitcom burglar, black leggings, hoodie, creeping through my yard, poking the pool with my skimmer, muttering about dangerous animals. I call the cops again. They catch her rummaging through my storage box. Ma'am, step away from the box. I was doing a safety check at 9 p.m. Nighttime hazards require nighttime inspections, she says. That's not how inspections work. They point to my security camera. Your neighbor has you on video, ma'am. She turns, eyes wild, as I step outside. You're trying to sabotage me. Turn the whole community against me. You're doing that all by yourself, Karen. That was the night the legend of the alligator was born, and Karen's reign over my pool was finally over. So, here's my question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have done the same? Is there a right way to deal with a neighbor who's power mad? Or does it just take a little plastic gator and a lot of patience? Drop your wildest HOA stories in the comments. Tell me what you think real justice looks like, and if you've ever dealt with a Karen like mine, because trust me, I've got plenty more where this came from.